march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
I began to get into iodine a few years ago because it was helping me and my family so much get healthy and detoxify. Most people know that iodine deficiency has been a crisis around the world. Iodine is key to so many of the body's functions, especially the thyroid. I discovered a product being developed by Dr. Group. You now know it as Survival Shield True Nascent Iodine that your body can really absorb. Then, about a year ago, he said, listen, if you think this is powerful, I'm going to come out with rare earth, deep earth crystals. And the results that I personally have had have been life-changing. Nobody else has got iodine based on these pure crystals, ladies and gentlemen. This is innovating, and the best part is it helps fund Infowars.com, the radio show, the TV show, the whole media operation promoting true libertarian ideas. For a limited time, experience the ancient power of Survival Shield X2. Take advantage of this unprecedented 30% off Super Detox Special at InfoWarsLife.com.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put two and two together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled I-N-F-I-D-E-L, bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
I'm David Hall, founder of Diamond Gusset, where we are proud of our 100% grown and sewn American-made jeans. Whether you're out for dinner, working on the farm, or on the road, Diamond Gusset Jeans offers a full spectrum of style and sizes for any occasion. Our loyal customers enable us to continue sponsoring Liberty Media outlets. Use promo code FREEDOM to receive a 15% discount at gusset.com. In Liberty, David Hall, Diamond Gusset Jean Company.
From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape, but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.
You are listening to an Infowars.com frontline report. If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. As I've been pointing out, we have an interview coming up with Alex Jones and Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan was in the Austin area last week performing, and Alex had an interview with him talking about essentially the whole spectrum of what's going on with current events, politics, that sort of thing. But before we go to that interview, I want to let you know that this hour of the Alex Jones Show is brought to you by OccuPower. Now, this is a new product that we have here at InfoWars Life. It's based on the same regenerative principles as DNA Force at a more affordable price. It focuses on assisting the natural function of healthy eyes nutritionally, not through surgery, not through harsh pharmaceutical drugs. It's a new super eye formula that's nutraceuticals, available in a limited batch supply only. It's only been out for a few days, and we've already sold more than half of it. It's going to take us another 6 to 8 weeks to do another run, so you might want to move on that right away. That's at Infowars.com/eyes, or you can find it at InfoWarsShop.com. I know I had an aunt who suffered from macular degeneration, and the best thing that you can do for macular degeneration, which is something that occurs to people as they get older, is nutritional supplements. And, of course, that's exactly what this is, addressing the natural function of your eyes. It doesn't have to get to the point that affects you later in life, middle age, old age, of macular degeneration. That is something that you can head off with nutritional stuff, and it's something that you can really help with nutritional support from the foundation that covers that. That is their #1 prescription, is to address it nutritionally, because your retinas are constantly replenishing. The cells are dying, and it's constantly being replenished, so you need the right kind of nutrients. And that's what you'll find in OcuPower. Get it now before it runs out. It's going to take another 6 to 8 weeks to refresh it. Let's go to this interview that Alex Jones had with Joe Rogan. As I mentioned, they basically cover the waterfront on a variety of subjects when Joe Rogan was here just last week in Austin.
It was about 6.5 years ago. Obama was president-elect, and I sat in here in this very green room at Cap City Comedy Club, Joe. That video's been seen about 40 million times now.
That's ridiculous.
Literally. Like 14 million on just one spot on YouTube.
That's ridiculous.
You, early on, when everybody else was saying Obama was the savior, you weren't saying you were for the Democrat or the Republican. I mean, I'm going to play a clip right now. Okay. You were saying, why does anybody expect him to be any different? And it was like right when he was president-elect, or right when he got into office.
It's pretty obvious that there's some gigantic financial institutions that have been pulling the strings of politicians in this country for a long time. And just the fact that we have it set up where they can donate millions of dollars to these guys' funds, these guys' campaigns. I mean, how do we not expect it all to go bad?
They put so much into him, built him up as this big brand name. What's your take on it?
Well, you know what, man? I don't even think Obama is to blame. I really don't. I don't think there's an individual that's to blame. I think that what we're looking at, and I'm obviously no political expert by any means, but as a person who's observing a system, who's a person who's observing this strange society that we live in, and how it's influenced by money and corporations, and how politicians are beholden to so many different groups before they get into any positions of power. It's incredibly difficult to change anything, and it's not like this statement about Obama as a president or Obama as a person. It's more that the system is so intertangled. It's so intertwined with political interest groups and with lobbyists and with corporations having mad control over the political system, over who gets represented, which party, you know, who represents which party. The people that have the most money historically have done the best. I mean, it's like a big, crazy money grab. And then these people get into these positions of power, and I don't think they have nearly as much control as we like to think they do. And I think he gets into this position of power, and I think it's probably just a melee in there. A melee of money and lobbyists and fucking the military-industrial complex and influence of foreign leaders and chaos and threats of terrorism. Jesus Christ. I mean, could you imagine that guy's job? It's an impossible job. It's an impossible job for any person, for any one person to try to turn this crazy ship around. So I didn't have any faith in his ability to do it, but I bet nobody can do that job. I think that job is almost impossible. It's almost impossible to be some person who's going to make everybody happy and who's also going to make all the people that got you into power happy, and then make the culture happy.
Well, that's a true story. What's in the movie Nixon with Oliver Stone that he produced, where Nixon goes out to the memorial at night, and then all the anti-war folks come up to him, and all the anti-Nixon people. He goes, "Look, it's a big beast, a big machine. I can't stop it."
I think that's I mean, I think the beast that Nixon faced was probably still way too big for anybody to handle. But I think that the beast Obama faces is far bigger. It's far crazier. It's the whole thing. It's just, and the stakes are higher because the wars we're in are so preposterous after Vietnam. There's this sort of despair that happens when people realize, like, we didn't learn anything. Like, we didn't learn anything. We're still involved in quagmires in other countries that cost massive, massive amounts of lives. Both Americans and other people, we get caught in these things, and they're incredibly disappointing for people. When we look at our culture, I think America likes to be a proud country. We like to look at ourselves as really like a special type of people. We're the children of immigrants, the crazy people that came here when everybody else was banking on Europe. We were like, let's get on a boat. And hundreds of years ago, those were our ancestors, and this is where we are today. But if you look at our actions, it's depressing for people to look at the actions of their country and not totally be able to defend something that we've done militarily. You know, when people look at that and they go, I don't, you know, there's a lot of people that I know that are patriots, a lot of people that I know that are veterans, that love America, that believe in the military, and they're very upset with the way the direction of these wars has gone. Very upset with the image that it's given America worldwide. You know, there's the famous point that many people had right after September 11th was, this was an incredible time where there was so much sympathy of these other nations. They were so on the side of America, that America had been attacked. This was horrible. The whole world was watching. And within a period of a few years, our actions were so f***ed up that we lost all that sympathy. There was this moment where America had this position of love, you know, where the whole world was like, hey, we're sorry that happened to you. And by the actions, the mistakes, the push, the pull, whatever it was that led us from September 11, 2001 to where we are in 2014, whatever it is that led us to that, it bums a lot of people out, you know?
Where does your gut tell you the country's going? Because so many people that the metrics show towards some type of collapse, not just here, but worldwide. I know you personally have been moving towards getting off the grid some.
Well, I think getting off the grid's a good idea just because the grid is goofy. You know, if you could figure out a way to make your own electricity and get your own water out of the ground, like, why would you not do that? As long as you're testing your water and you know that your water is good, it just seems awesome. It just seems like a cool thing to be able to get your electricity from the sun. But I don't think necessarily civilization's going to collapse. I think people far smarter than me have engineered this thing. I just think that we're just in a weird period of life. And we're also in a weird period of information. It's a weird period of like the news, you know, like this Edward Snowden stuff. Glenn Greenwald, and the ability to distribute a big crazy story like that, it's completely shifted. It's not only like the New York Times, it's not only like a corporation, it's small individuals have this weird ability to do stuff like that now, like world-changing stuff. And
it's almost like a pre-singularities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like smaller waves building up to bigger waves.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I knew about the NSA and the hubs and the major buildings. And remember, like in 1999, I'd be telling you about that stuff and how they were listing everything.
Dude, you thought they were spying on everything way before anybody did.
But I'm not tooting my horn. I wasn't psychic.
Yeah, but it's not just that.
It was in the documents.
There's also
who had the documents?
You have the documents. One thing that I always tell everybody, like the first video that I ever saw that made me go, what? They do that? That's real? Was your 911 Road to Tyranny documentary where you detailed what happened in the World Trade Organization.
Oh, yeah.
The WTO protests, we detailed how they used these guys to come in, these agent provocateurs. It was a peaceful protest. In order to make it non-peaceful, they have these guys come in with government-issue boots, ski masks, fuck everything up, smash things, and then they turn it into a war zone. So then the cops get to move in and arrest everybody. They made the whole thing a no protest zone. These guys, they get holed up in some house somewhere, right? And then
the government paid for their house.
And then they negotiated them free. They got free. So these guys, they smashed all these windows.
And they had the Delta Force running it. That even came out, I mean, people in Seattle knew about that. I was being called a conspiracy theorist just because I had the local newspapers from there.
It sounds so crazy. If someone tells you that, you go, that's crazy. But then you find out that is actually a tactic that gets used to break up protests. Like, they will hire someone, I don't know with what account, but the same type of account they use, you know, something that doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be. I mean, how would you organize something like that? How do you tell somebody? I mean, are they allowed to say, "Hey, we're going to hire you guys"?
Well, that's the report from the interview with Alex Jones and Joe Rogan. That is now up on our YouTube channel.